Welcome to another episode of Metal Mastermind. In this video, we're going to show you a very simple and easy way to integrate key changes into your metal songwriting. And we're also going to share why this might be so important to use this method in at least some of your music. Now we're going to dive right into this lesson, and you're going to hear sound clips of key changes, so you'll hear everything in action. But real quick, before we get into this, there are two things I want you to think about as we go through this lesson here. Number one, as a metal songwriter, and especially in metal music, you don't want your new song to sound like everything else that's out there or anything else that's out there. We have a tendency to do that. Of course, we have our favorite bands and artists. We have those who have influenced us, and some of that influence will shine through, but you don't ever want someone to say, oh, your band sounds just like that band. No, you want your sound to be original. Now, number two, you don't want to write a new metal song that sounds like everything else that you've written. And this brings me back to key changes, and we're going to dive deep into this. I'm going to show you some strategies and some easy methods that you can use, some easy ways to change keys in the middle of your song or any part of your song. First thing I want us to do is I want us to utilize what we talked about in the last video that we posted on the easy way to use the circle of fifths. So let's get that on the board. All right, we've got our circle of fifths here. So we're going to dive into this. And real quick, by the way, the circle of fifths, so all these chords on the outer part of the circle are your major chords. The ones in the inner circle are your minor chords. And they are all somewhat kind of connected. We'll go through this, but if you didn't see the prior video on our easy way to use the circle of fifths, I'm going to go ahead and put a link up here so you can go back and watch that. That'll give you just a very simple understanding of the circle of fifths, and then come back and watch this video after that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a very simple progression. We're going to start in the key of A minor. That's going to be our first progression here. Remember, we're going to be changing keys, but our first progression, and this is going to be kind of our core progression for this next series of clips that you're about to hear with the key changes, A minor. Now remember, with the circle of fifths, and this is a very simple way to understand this, is any chord that you choose, right? We're in the key of A minor. Basically, you've got 6 chords that you can use. It's going to fit with that. You've got the chord to the right and to the left, which is an E minor and D minor. You've also got the corresponding major, which is a C to the A minor here, which means you can also use the chords to the right and left of that major, which is G and F. So we're going to choose a progression. We're just going to kind of simplify this. I'm going to play an A minor, then I'm going to go to an F, and then a G. And it's going to sound, well, let's just go ahead and play it. It's going to sound like this. Now let's integrate a key change in the middle of our song, in the middle of this part here, okay? This is where things get really interesting. So the easiest way to do this, and I guess the most fluid way to do this so that your song just kind of flows, it's just got this really natural and nice flow to it, yet it has that powerful key change, is to simply use a chord that's next to the chord, the key that you're in, right? So for example, we're in A minor. We're in the key of A minor. So we're playing A minor, F, G. That's our chord progression that we're playing in the key of A minor. So what I want us to do is I want us to play that progression, but I want us to change keys from A minor over to D minor. Now, of course, D minor is part of A minor here. You can use it together, right? But since we're changing keys, what's going to happen is everything is going to shift from here, from the A minor over to the D minor. So remember, A minor, you've got these 6 chords that kind of fit with that. A minor, E minor, D minor, then you've got your major C, G, and F. As we're changing keys to D minor, well, now you've got everything to the right and the left of that. So some of your chords that you can use are going to change, right? So now, instead of A minor with E minor, D minor, C, G, F, you've got D minor with A minor to the right, G minor to the left, your corresponding major is F, you've got C to the right of that, then you've got B flat. So we've got two chords over here that we're going to be using with this new key that we're going to be in. So let's play basically the same progression that we played in A minor, and we're going to play that, then we're going to change keys to D minor and play pretty much the same thing, but with the chords that fit in the key of D minor. So let's listen to this clip and let's hear what this sounds like. I think already you're starting to see how epic this can make your song just by changing the key. You heard how that sounded. You heard the power and the emotion behind that. It's like, wow, we're going somewhere. We're going in this particular direction. Then all of a sudden we've got this change. Even though we played the same type of progression, just the three chords there, right? Changing keys just added a completely different dynamic. So now what I want us to do is let's change keys again. We're going to use A minor. We're still in the key of A minor. We're going to use that as our foundation. Okay, but remember we said a fluid way to change keys, meaning that this is going to just kind of have a real nice flow to the song even while changing keys. A fluid way to do that is by using a key, a chord that's next to the one that you're going from, which again, we're in A minor. Just now we went to D minor. So why don't we go from A minor to the key of E minor here? Let's see how that sounds. And remember, now we can use these 6 chords. E minor, to the right we have B minor, to the left, of course, A minor. Our corresponding major is G, so that means we can also use D and C with that, okay? So let's hear how going from A minor to the key of E minor sounds. Okay, that was pretty cool, but now let's do something completely different. And this is the beauty of metal music here. I'm just going to try something completely out of the blue here. Remember, we said that a fluid way to change keys in your song so that it sounds smooth. You still got that impact, right? But it just sounds smooth is to choose a key that's close, right, to the key that you are in. So if we're changing keys from A minor, D minor, E minor, well, that makes sense. Even a B minor would kind of make sense. It would still kind of flow very, very smoothly. You know what, though? I want us to go all the way down here to, what is this? This is a key that none of us ever play in, right? I want us to go from A minor to E flat minor. So that means we've got these chords here, these, and sorry, my circle, it must have had a few drinks or something because my circle's kind of messy. Anyway, so we're going to go to the key of E flat minor, which allows us, I shouldn't say allows us, we're going to talk about breaking rules in a second, by the way, but which has these chords here, and most of these chords, none of these chords are really anything like what we're using up here. So what we're doing is we're going to play the A minor with the F and then the G. So we're going to do the same thing with the E flat minor, which means we'll be going E flat, then I believe it's B, then D flat. So let's hear what this key change sounds like. One of two things just happened. You're in one or two buckets. Either you were saying, that just does not go together at all, or you may be one of those that are saying, okay, that was completely different. That was cool. I'm going to use that for my next song. Listen, there is no right or wrong here. I want you guys to understand this, okay? There's no right or wrong, and you could throw all this out the window, by the way. You could just trash it. The thing about music theory, and I've got some other stuff I want to share with you. We're going to talk about modulation, okay? We're going to modulate here in a second, but the thing I want you to understand about music theory, and this is just kind of scratching the surface here, but music theory should be used to help you, not to restrict you, if that makes sense. So you can throw all this out the window, and many musicians have. This is only here, though, to use as a guide to share the chords that kind of go together. If you want to break these rules, feel free to break them. We kind of broke them a little bit here because we went from this key of A minor to E flat minor. These keys have nothing to do with each other, but you know what? We got a different sound. Whether you liked it, loved it, or that just didn't work for you, either way, there's probably a lot of songs out there that just go from one key to some weird off-the-wall key, and it works. All I'm saying is don't be afraid to kind of break away from the norm or from the rules, the perceived rules. There aren't rules, but there are perceived rules, okay? So I just wanted to make that point real quick. Now, one more thing I want to share with you here. I want to show you how to modulate, and of course, we're changing keys to modulate. Now, when a band or an artist, when they do a modulation, hopefully that's a word, if not, we just made it up. When they modulate in their song, normally it's going from this key to the next step, okay? So if you're playing an E, right, we got E minor here, and actually we're going to use the key of E minor. If you're playing an E, your next whole step up would be an F sharp, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I want you to hear this real quick, and I'll kind of break down what we did, okay? Check it out. If you notice, we use the 4 magic chords, or at least the chord progression that so many hit songs, both rock, pop, and even some metal, are written in. But basically what we did here, we're in the key of E minor. We started out with E minor, we went to a C, then a G, then a D, okay? Now, when we modulated, we did the exact same thing, the exact same type of progression, but we modulated, meaning we went an entire step up to what? To an F sharp minor. So when we got to here, then you've got a new set of chords to work with here. So in our case, we went to match this, to match the E minor progression, we went F sharp to D to A to E, okay? That's all we did. So the easy way to do this is whatever key your song is in. Let's say it's in B minor, for example, okay? That's in B minor. Well, you want to modulate that part of the song. So what would you do? Well, what's the whole step from B minor? It's a C sharp minor, okay? So you'd come down here, and then you'd see the notes that you can use, or the chords rather, that you can use here for that modulation if you're playing the same structure or the same type of progression, okay? If you want that to match, but you just want it to be modulated, just one step higher. Now, what we just went through, and I hope this helped, by the way, but this is just a taste of what we have in our metal songwriting course called Metal Songwriters Forge. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's a link in the description of this video here, so definitely go check that out. I encourage you to. And if you're one of our students already in the course, thank you for all the kind words. We've received such awesome feedback on how this has helped so many metal musicians just kind of get over those humps, those writing blocks that we all have, whether it be lyrics or coming up with progressions and tying riffs to progressions and that sort of thing. So it was pretty in-depth and pretty intense. I'll go ahead and warn you, be prepared to sit down and spend a lot of time as you go through Metal Songwriters Forge, because it's going to require that. This is for serious songwriting, so definitely check that out. Again, the link is in the description of this YouTube video. So guys, I really hope this video helped you when it comes to key changes. And remember, this is an awesome method to use to keep your music from sounding like anything else, okay? Use this method. It's going to break things up in your song, and it's really going to help bring out, your original character and your original songwriting skills. So definitely use this method. Definitely try this, at least in some of your songs, okay? So again, leave us any questions. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We're constantly putting out content just like this to help all metal musicians. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you on the next video.